The following file has special clearance restrictions and may only be accessed after the September equinox. Clearing autumn multi-lock. The equinox has passed. Confirmed access granted. You're a witness. Confirmed access granted. SCP-6401 exists. Confirmed access granted. Item hash SCP-6401. Containment Class. Keter. Special Containment Procedures. All Foundation witnesses are to be stationed in or nearby SCP-6401 for the full length of its annual existence. Negotiations with the denizens of SCP-6401 are to continue despite the diminishing chances of success. Witnesses are to propose inclusion in as many trials as possible without offending the denizens. Denizens are not to be referred to individually without explicit permission from the highest cleared Foundation witness. All information is to be recorded so that pursuing legal actions inside the rule set of SCP-6401 may become a future possibility. Description: SCP-6401 is an autumnal forest that only exists between the September equinox and the winter solstice, autumn in the northern hemisphere. This includes any memory or data that is referencing SCP-6401. Furthermore, referring to SCP-6401 while it exists can only be done without consequence to entities who have at least once received an invitation to the court of SCP-6401. Referencing SCP-6401 to people not affiliated with SCP-6401 results in a rapid and fatal decline in health conditions for all participants of the conversation. SCP-6401 has a court system that any previously invited entities can appeal to on the main clearing. This court system primarily concerns itself with a subset of natural laws, which can be changed depending on the individual verdict. Discovery: SCP-6401 was discovered through an invitation letter in the form of a brown maple leaf that was carried by the wind towards the main entrance of Site-118. Invitation to the lessening forest. Those the Foundation represent are offered temporary residence. In Autumn's court we seek your reasons, so requests the cycle of seasons. The claims presented are threefold. To each of these, you witness hold, and of witnesses much gain. We hope our request is not in vain. Feeling. The original letter contained a minor cognitohazard, affecting readers with the ability to locate SCP-6401. The letter crumbled to dust after the minimal amount of personnel read it that would be required to implement such an exploration mission. All Level 4 and lower personnel who read the Invitation 1 are classified as Foundation witnesses. Upon arrival in SCP-6401, Foundation witnesses are guided by denizens towards wooden houses in various states of disrepair for the duration of their stay. The denizens also escort the Foundation witnesses to the main clearing every time a trial needs to be attended. With the exception of SCP-6401-A, all denizens of SCP-6401 are indistinguishable from voices in the wind. Denizens lamented this circumstance on multiple occasions. Referring to individual denizens with any other name than feeling results in the speaker's voice breaking to the point of their speech becoming incomprehensible. The individual trials are held by an unknown number of denizens.